Hey everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We'll be talking about an epidemic that's happened around our area, and actually it's happened around our entire country over the last couple of years. Over 100,000 deaths last year were contributed to opioid and fentanyl deaths, and Terrebonne Parish and Houma is no exception to that rule. Here to talk about a little bit about that, and maybe to give maybe a heads up to the public, public awareness, is Travis Theriot, I should say, the Chief of Police at Houma, HPD. Thanks for being here. And we're not immune to what's going on around the rest of the country and the rest of the world with this, huh?
No, absolutely not. You know, it kind of goes, it's like a roller coaster. We go up and down. Unfortunately, we've been seeing more increase than decrease in it lately. Even with the great work that both, our agency, the Sheriff's Department, everybody does, works hard. But even with all the hard work of these men and trying to get it off the streets, we've still been seeing a lot of increases, and it's still pretty prevalent in the area.
And you said recently, so within the last couple of weeks, you've seen a spike?
Yeah, so within the last 2 weeks, we've seen an astronomical spike in overdoses, both deaths and people that have survived it. And we just, we want to get out there and we want to warn the public, just like we want to, get the guy that's doing it. We also want to reach out to the people that are using it and maybe some awareness if there's somebody within your family.
Right. And that's what we had talked about earlier. It used to be cancer. You always talk about cancer. Everybody somewhere in their family, in their orbit, knows somebody that died of cancer. And it's getting that way with opioids now, that somewhere in your orbit of friends, you've heard a tragedy happen to somebody. So it's becoming that prevalent. Yeah,
there's no part of society or family that's immune to this. In some way or another, more than likely, there's a good chance that somebody that's been affected by this, or a family that's been affected by this. And look, this heroin and fentanyl epidemic that we're seeing across the country, it's terrible. Seeing people lose their lives at such a young age, and and others that are just throwing everything away to chase this, chase this high.
Because some people are looking for it, right? Some people are maybe used to it, have tolerated, built up a titration to it that they can take a drug and it doesn't affect them. But somebody that's maybe new to it or maybe takes a pill that's laced with it, that can cause issues.
Yeah, and look, and the biggest thing majority of the time was what's coming back for the overdose is going to be fentanyl is 9 times out of 10, that's what's in the system. And it's just there's so many different strengths, and it takes such a minute amount to kill you, and people don't realize what they're doing, and they're just putting this in their system, and there's just no way for them to survive it.
Yeah, look, this is the illegal narcotics trade we're talking about. This is not some kind of pharmacy that has, beakers and cleanliness and all. These are people that are trafficking, God knows how, from across the border, getting over here, mixing things together where other drugs can get contaminated too.
That's right. Look, and to the people that are selling the drug, they're not looking out for their customers' best interests.
No.
They're looking out for what's best for them. They're looking to line their pockets with money. They don't care about the person. They don't care about the community. They don't care about what they're doing. They're looking to line their pocket with money, and it's hurting people. It's killing people, and many people are being struck by this tragedy.
Has there been a cluster of certain neighborhoods, or is this pretty much spread out across the area?
I can tell you that we've seen the increase within the city. I don't know if the surrounding areas have seen it quite as much as us, but what we've seen is a obvious spike in overdoses in the last couple of weeks, which means that something came into the area that was out of the norm, and it's affecting people.
So as law enforcement now, when you start trying to break this case and you say, trying to work on it, find out who's distributing this kind of stuff, how do you think it's players from out of town, out of state, out of country that are passing through maybe on Highway 90, or is it, a network that the regular distributors?
So as far as the investigation goes, we really can't get into that.
Sure.
But I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just this particular shipment that gets brought into our community
Right.
is
Different.
more dangerous than normal. It's dangerous
They're
every
always-
day,
right.
right? But it's even worse what came in this time.
Yeah, that's real interesting. Now, when you have several people, a big number of people that have taken ill and ended up in the hospital, ended up dying of this, do they have family members or anywhere like that are saying, "Hey, we need to stop this," and maybe a retaliation kind of thing or anything like that?
I don't think it's a retaliation thing. We try to be there for the family as much as we can, and we're going to do everything we can to get
Will they work
closure
with
and
authorities? Most of these people.
hopefully, we most will, and we do what we can. Like I said, we're not miracle workers, but right now we're just trying to get it out there, and hopefully it reaches somebody that says, "Well, maybe I need to leave this alone and get some help."
Right.
You know.
And like I said, I just reading. A lot of times it'll be kids going in their parents' medicine cabinet. That kind of starts a thing, and then they end up on the next level. And just please be wary out there. The next level could be terminal for you.
And look, and there's many reasons why people get addicted to opioids. Could be injury, could be mental health. It could be just an addictive personality and they like to party, but there's a lot of reasons, but for whatever their reason is, it's still a sickness that they need help with.
Last month was Mental Health Awareness Month, and y'all did a walk around to kind of raise awareness, and that's 988, right?
Yeah, right. So it was kind of monumental. Nothing like that had ever been done. We partnered up with, it was us and the Stark Corporation, all our mental health partners, probation and parole, the sheriff's department, district attorney's office, council people out there, parish employees. And we went parish wide doing an outreach in all communities. And we know we couldn't hit every house, but we went to as many as we could. And it was quite a few thousand contacts were made that day doing some mental health awareness and outreach. And the 988 hotline, that resource can even be used for people with drug addiction. They can reach out to that, and they can funnel them into the program they need for help.
Right. You see, suicide and crisis, well, that would obviously fall under both of those, but certainly fall under the crisis if you find, I'm sure some people look for those kind of things, but I think most people are trying to find a way out after they were, become addicted and that kind of stuff.
Right. And if it's, whether it's mental health or it's drug addiction, it's all illnesses, that people need help with. And you have family members that care. And these resources that we're pushing out are all things that people should pay attention to, because you never know when it's going to affect your own household.
Well, and we were talking our households, and we're just going about life and we hear about these things. But if you're in the drug using community and you lose a bunch of friends, I'm sure it hits you like, I got to get help. 988 would be a great way to find help.
It'd be a great way to start.
Yeah.
It would be a great way to start, and it can definitely get you to the resource you need.
Yeah. So that's something you'll take a look at. Obviously, you guys get any help as far as cracking down on opioid from the feds involved, anybody like that? Or I guess there's a bunch of agency, and I know you can't talk about
it. It's a joint effort,
right?
And whenever we say law enforcement, we mean law enforcement. We mean state, local, federal, all aspects, mental health, everybody working together.
Yeah.
And whenever we talk about law enforcement, we all work together.
Right.
It's this isn't the police department's problem or the sheriff's department's problem. This is our problem.
Right.
This is the police department's problem. This is our community's problem, and we need to do everything we can to clean it up.
Well, if you look at the numbers, you look at the different things that happen, it's way over what the gun violence is in our community anyway, the number of deaths. So obviously, any life you save could be your own if you seek help.
If you do all of this and you save one,
right,
it's worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so this time of year, we've now moved on to the summer time of the year as far as law enforcement is concerned. And I love kids and I want them to be out and having a good time, but it always seems like we also see a spike in the checking the doors, you know, walking around and you see unlocked doors or breaking into cars.
Right. So this time of the year, and sometimes it's kids that just, for whatever reason, they've never been in trouble before, and they go out into the neighborhood and they'll start pulling on car doors. And we don't know why. Some of them have never been in trouble for anything, not even at school. And next thing you know, they're getting caught up in all kind of car burglaries. But what we want to do is we want to reach out to our citizens and look, we need you to be vigilant. We need you to make sure that you lock your cars at night, double check. And if you see something in your neighborhood at night, give us a call. You know, we know that we have seen an astronomical increase in car burglaries in the last couple of days within on the West Houma side. So we want to make sure that everybody is vigilant and takes care of their property. We're doing what we can, and our men and women of the Houma Police Department are working diligently to try and resolve this. But we don't want anyone else to be victimized by this.
Right. So first of all, if you have children, make sure you know where they're at, and don't let them be roaming around at 2 o'clock in the night. Second of all, I'd imagine we all have Ring cameras and, you know, cameras all over our houses now. If you see somebody walking by checking, maybe send y'all the video. Huh?
Yeah, that's right. Just get it to us, and it may or may not help. You know, but it tells us what the pattern is. It may not help us identify the person, but it'll tell us what the pattern is. And you just get that to the police department, shoot it to us, and we'll put it on file. And at least it tells us, you know, what times they were out there and things like that. And just keep an eye on your property, keep an eye on your neighbor's property, and you'll be a good neighbor. And you know, keep a neighborhood watch out.
Right. You know, we all, like I said, we all have those cameras now. You get alerts and you go, oh, it's probably a spider right in front of the camera. Maybe it's not this time of year, so maybe check it when you hear those little alerts.
And to the kids that are out there doing this, you know, find something better to do.
Right. Don't be stupid. This could be life a lot of times is about choices, right? The choices you make and the things you have to deal with. That it might seem like a great idea, but this may ride with you the rest of your life.
That's right. Depending on your age, this is something that can follow you for the rest of your life.
Right. Especially like if you're 18 and your buddies are 12.
Right. It's a felony.
Not 12, but
it's a burglary and it's a felony. So
yeah, and like I say, you could also. There's a lot of people that have weapons at their house, that kind of stuff. You never know when you could walk into the wrong area.
And to the victims, don't just assume that the person that's out there, that if you're going to approach them, don't assume that they're unarmed either.
Right.
So
true.
don't go and call the police department. Let us do it. Do not put yourself in harm's way. There's no reason to do that.
Right.
Contact the police department and let us do it.
That's great advice. Because I'd be running out there in my underwear trying to fight them. Travis, thanks so much for being here, man.
No problem.
All right. We'll be back with more Bayou Time right after this.